Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Rizwan Jamil Qureshi, and I'm a professor at King Abdulaziz University in Faculty of Computing and Information Technology. And this is lecture number 15. And the last lecture, lecture 14, we talk about use case diagram and use case description. The topic of today's coverage is object modeling and class diagram. So, what's an object? Object is a combination of data and methods into a single entity that is uniquely identifiable. A state, a condition that is possesses by the object properties and the values those properties have, and we have behavior, that how the methods of the object will act and react. A class is a collection of objects. Then class diagram has compartments, and the first compartment is the class name. The second compartment is the class data. Data is also called attributes, states, properties, whereas the methods are also called functions, procedures, behaviors, characteristics. So class is represented as a rectangle with three compartments, as I just mentioned. Objects can participate in relations with the objects of the same class. From the class diagram, we can depict the object diagram. So object diagram, the object is an instance of a class. And we have methods, we also call them operation, a function or service provided by the instance of the class. And this encapsulation, it's a technique of hiding the information and internal implementation details of an object. We also call it abstraction or encapsulation or information hiding. There are different type of operations in the class diagram. We have query, an operation that accesses the state of an object but does not alter the state. We can update, an operation that alters the state of an object, and the scope, an operation that applies to a class, then an object instance. And we have constructor. Constructor is the class name having the same name as the program name and the class name. Let's take an example of student registration system. There are two classes, student and the course. The first compartment, class name, student. The second compartment, second partition, the name, date of birth, year, address, phone number. And the third compartment, the methods, calculate age, calculate GPA, register for course. And the course class, the first compartment, class name, the course. Second class, data, attributes of the class, course code, course title, credit hours. And the third compartment, class methods, the enrollment. And have, we can derive instance of the class like Mary Jones. We can have Furkan, Ata, Mujahid. And from the course, we can have instance of the course, the course code, for example, CPIT 250, course title, system analysis design, credit hours 3. There are associations between classes. A relationship between object classes is called association, and we can have degrees, unary, binary, ternary, quaternary. Unary, the association relationship of class with itself. For example, supervisor can be an instructor. Binary, the association between two classes, for example, student course. Ternary, relationship between three classes, student, course, administration. And higher, like quaternary, student, course, administration, parents. And we show them as a solid line between the classes. Association role, the end of an association where it connects to a class. It can have multiplicity, one to one, one to many, like the entity relationship diagram. An association class, an association that has attributes or operations of its own or that participates in relation with other classes, similar to ERD diagram, entity relationship diagram. Then generalization, abstraction of common features among multiple classes as well as their relationships into a more general class. Subclass, a class that has been generalized. So from the parent, the child class is generalized. Parent class is also called superclass, a class that is composed of several generalized subclasses. For example, vehicle. Vehicle can have car, truck, buses, aeroplanes, ships. Then car is can be generalized into subclasses like normal car, sports car, jeeps, same like truck, buses, aeroplanes, cargo planes. Discriminator shows which property of an object class is being abstracted by a generalized relationship. In the object-oriented programming, inheritance is very important. Inheritance is the instance of a class. For example, parent can have child, child can become a parent. It's like human being. We have father, father have children, children also become father, and so on. So that's the inheritance. We inherit the features of our forefathers up to 7 generations from the mother side and from the father side, from both parents. Similarly, superclass or parent class can have child classes, and child classes become parent, and then they have their childs. It's also called overriding. We call overriding superclass features or parent class features. Then abstract class, a class that cannot have instance. Its instances are created in the concrete class. So a class can have direct instance is called concrete class. Then semantic constraints overlapping, a descendant may be descended from more than one of the subclasses. Disjoint, a descendant may not descended from more than one of the subclasses. Complete, all subclasses have been specified. No additional subclasses are expected. Incomplete, some subclasses have been specified. Class scope attribute, an attribute of a class which specifies a value common to an entire class rather than specific value. Abstract operation defines the form or protocol of an operation, but it, not mostly it's not implemented. Method, the implementation of an operation. Polymorphism, implementing the similar features on two or more classes is called polymorphism. For example, we also call it method overloading. When two or more methods or functions having same name but different attributes, it's also called polymorphism. For example, I'm taking exam in two sections of 250, the System Analysis and Design course. In one section, I conduct objective exam. In second section, I conduct subjective exam. So my method of taking exams are different, but I'm taking exam. Like compute, we can have compute in one method, addition, in second method, subtraction, third method, multiplication, etc. Overriding, I already covered. Overriding means we inherit the features of our forefathers. The subclasses inherit the features of the data and methods of the parent classes. Overriding for extension, overriding for restriction, overriding for optimization. There are three types. Overriding for extension, operation inherited by a subclass from its superclass is extended by adding some behavior. Overriding for restriction, the protocol of the new operation, the subclass is restricted. Overriding for optimization, new operation is implemented with improved code by exploiting the restrictions imposed by a subclass. Multiplication, we already say one to one, one to many to many. Multiple inheritance allows a class to inherit features from more than one superclass. And then you have aggregation and composition concept. Aggregation mean we have weak association between the parent and child, whereas composition there is strong association between child and parent. Mean a parent is class is an aggregate of child classes, but there's a weak association between parent and child because parent can survive without the child, but child cannot survive without the parent, and the child have composition relationship with the parent. For example, in King of the University, we have 140 plus departments. In FCIT, we have three departments: IT, CS, and IS. If we remove IS from the FCIT, Faculty of Computing and Information Technology Department or faculty, nothing will happen to FCIT because still we have computer science and IT departments. So that's the weak association between King of the University and IS department. Whereas IS department survival is with the King of the University. Similarly, an example of personal computer is composed of processors, keyboard, motherboard, hard disk, and so on. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.